Hello and thanks for joining me on Life in Surround. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new live Steve Hackett effort, his Revisiting Genesis project. It is a film from the Hammersmith, and it is Selling England by the Pound and Spectral Mornings in their entirety, plus a sprinkling of some of Steve's recent solo efforts. I'm short on time to do a video today, but I'm long on enthusiasm, so I really want to give you the bottom line up front and keep this very short. This is an absolute must. If you're into Genesis at all, particularly the Peter Gabriel era, if you're into Steve Hackett at all, and if you like the way he's curating Genesis early material and paying homage to it and keeping the love of it alive. And if you have any criticisms for like the extant Selling England by the Pound surround version mixed by Nick Davis, some people feel that Steve Hackett's guitar work was de-emphasized, and some people also don't like the mastering. It's available on DTS DVD, but also Super Audio CD if you are into lossless, so that's what I have here. Anyway, and if you love surround, so if you're watching this channel, you probably are into surround music, and there's a fair chance that you are into prog rock or at least can tolerate it. And if you admire the surround mixing prowess of Steven Wilson, who was somehow enlisted for this project, then this live set from the Hammersmith, the entire Selling England by the Pound plus extended jams on at least half the songs, Spectral Mornings, which by the way also exists in 5.1, mixed by Steven Wilson, and I would rank this up there among my favorite surround albums. It really is very special. I think it is in the golden era for Steve Hackett, so definitely check this out if it's available anywhere. I'm not sure if it's out of print. Probably is, but maybe it's still available for a decent cost. Anyway, so what you get in this set, you get 2 CDs, which is great for me because this strikes me as really awesome driving music, and I have a CD player in my car. One of these days I want to have a 5.1 system in my car, but you know, you can't have it all, and life is pretty good. But right now I have a CD player, and so I do appreciate it when affordable packages include CDs for me. And then there's also the Blu-ray, which has some behind-the-scenes footage, has the entire concert in lossless stereo and in lossless 5.1 DTS HD master. The mix here is incredible. The mastering is great. This is an absolute massive improvement over any previous Steve Hackett live concert offering, which sometimes featured like overpowering, sort of bloated, boomy bass, which you could sort of correct by turning your subs down at least 50%, but you shouldn't have to do that. You also don't have your run-of-the-mill live mix with like the entire band up front and just ambience in the surrounds. Steven Wilson often places the supportive keyboard parts, background vocals, supportive guitar parts, various sound effects in the surrounds, squarely in the surrounds, discreetly in the surrounds. And also the band gets the audience participating quite often during many of the songs. And I even found myself clapping along and pounding my legs and tapping my foot, and it's a very participation-oriented album at times, and the audience is clapping along with you, like all around you, so they are actually part of the show and discreet in the surrounds at times. And I happen to have gotten my copy from Steve Hackett's website, and so I got his signature right here, and that's always cool for me. It was like an extra pound, right? So an extra $1.50 or whatever that works out to. So I thought that was special enough to go for. When I really do dig into bands and the price point is right, I do like the personal touch. Got some signatures from Mary Fall, got some signatures from the guys in Marillion, so that's always nice. Let me see. What is left to say? If you put on this concert and simply watch Selling England by the Pound, which, let's face it, that is the main draw, because it has Steve Hackett fandom going for it, has Genesis fandom going for it. It's an ultra uber classic album. It, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of Peter Gabriel era Genesis. If you merely put on Selling England, like, this is totally worth it. The price of this set, I think, at least when I picked it up, was something like $20. In my opinion, the definitive version of Selling England by the Pound will always be the original stereo LP. But if you're into the surround aspect of it, this easily outclasses even the Super Audio CD. The musicians helped me get into passages that sometimes left my mind meandering, listening to the original 5.1. The extended jams are appropriate, they're fun, they're tasteful, they show off a lot of talent, but they fit the mood and they embellish and augment the song. If you particularly felt like Hackett's material was de-emphasized in the original Nick Davis 5.1 mix, that has been corrected in abundance here. Hackett has an amazing tone, and I never really got the sense listening to classic Genesis that he was much of a soloist, and that myth has been dispelled here. He has moments where he is absolutely shredding. He has moments where he is laying down his signature melodies, his textures. He often doubles or harmonizes with the other players, including the main keyboardist and the flautist and saxophonist. This album features a double neck guitar. One of his main sidekicks, Jonas, has a bass guitar, 12-string guitar, double neck. And if that isn't prog rock, I don't know what is. But he really shines when he's thundering down bass on his Rickenbacker. This show is an example of how I believe a rock rhythm section should sound. So if you remember my disappointment from the Goat's Head Soup Atmos mix, pick this up and you'll know where I'm at. This thing gave my system, including my double 12-inch subs, a massive workout, but it was powerful, punchy, clear, tight. It was everything that I want a rock concert to be. Steve Hackett and Genesis material can be delicate at times. It can be mesmerizing. It can be enchanting. It can be funky. It can be fun. It can be powerful. It can move you emotionally, particularly during those choir sections that are underpinned by those massive, thundering, powerful Taurus pedals. I couldn't be more excited about this show. I rarely watch concerts more than once, and maybe, like, if it's, a classic Rush show, something that is just deeply embedded in my heart, like, I'll put it on once in a blue moon. But this will get another viewing, at least one more viewing, just to take in the performance again, and just because the mix and the mastering are so amazing. Like, absolute must. Steve Hackett, Selling England by the Pound and Spectral Mornings, live at Hammersmith. You just have to. You have to. I don't know if it's available on a standalone Blu-ray, but they're not charging that much for the extra 2 CDs. And my vote would be, like, go straight to the source, get Hackett's signed copy, maybe it helps give a bit more of the proceeds to the artist, and so I'm in favor of that. And wow, I don't think there's a whole lot more to say. This is either like a hard 9 or even maybe a solid 10 for me. I'd have to watch it again just to make sure that, like, as a concert performance, that it really is completely my cup of tea from start to finish, but I sure remember it being so. It's a pretty long show, 2 full albums plus plenty of extras, you know, Steve's solo stuff, and then the show also ends on Dance on a Volcano, and Los Endos. So, I mean, this had me wishing that his Genesis Revisited project someday would do Lamb Lies Down on Broadway in its entirety, just because even though I love Selling England, the album, so much, I felt like this performance got me more into the album than I have ever been in my entire life, and I would love to see him do that for Lamb as well, which does have great moments and it is interesting, but it's been hard for me, like, forever to get completely into it. It's really tough to digest. So anyway, just some speculation there and like maybe some hopeful thinking. This has been a review of the latest Steve Hackett live Blu-ray offering. Totally recommended, wholeheartedly recommended. Please, 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 let's sell this thing out and encourage Mr. Hackett to give us more amazing 5.1 goodness, or maybe even Atmos next time. The fact that he teamed up with Steven Wilson is just the biggest win-win for the prog rock surround loving community that I can remember, maybe since Steven Wilson teamed up with Rush for Farewell to Kings. So it's on that level. Like, you just have to do this. Okay? So hopefully I did this some justice. Hopefully I have encouraged you to support Mr. Hackett with this amazing release. It definitely deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. So I hope you're doing well. As always, you know, please support this video with a like. Share it if you can. Leave your comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, live life in surround.